Sorry, I think if you look at our, maybe the closest economies and political systems would be the countries of Western Europe and Canada. Advanced economy countries like that, they're all having the highest inflation they've had in a very long time. Places like Germany, which is famously, inflation averse.
So monthly stimulus payments may be automatically deposited for you. Lawmakers across the nation have officially set up new relief programs. The more stimulus money you can receive right now would greatly help so many people, so I believe President Biden should actually get the job done and send out stimulus checks as soon as possible. Now, the nearly $1 trillion in federal relief sent to U.S. households through 3 stimulus checks is credited with reducing poverty and helping millions of families weather the crisis. But with the crisis still affecting millions of people in the nation, many lawmakers are deciding to take action on this with their own form of stimulus payments. States are tapping into their own stimulus funds to help specific residents, like low-income households of teachers, or even teachers, with direct aid reaching more millions of people this year. According to recent census survey data, about 1 in 4 households across the country struggled to pay the household expenses in the previous week. So in an effort to help Americans from any future recessions, lawmakers in the Senate and the White House are now considering passing automatic checks for the next time the economy takes another significant dip. The Economic Security Project has officially held a discussion with 50 staff members from the Senate Finance Committee on automatic stabilizers. This would tie the issuance of expanded unemployment payments and stimulus checks to the state of the economy, therefore helping many people out. Plus, one economist told CNN putting in place these kinds of triggers would smooth out the recovery and no one is left at the mercy of Washington gridlock in future recessions. So she supports recurring stimulus check. Other lawmakers are considering universal basic income, which is a set of recurring payments that individuals get from the government. These can be paid out every month and several times a year or even just once annually. Democratic Representatives Rashida Tlaib and Pramila Jayapal have introduced legislation that would provide everyone in the country with $2,000 every single month. And that's $1,000 per month for a year. For instance, the ABC Act is going to finance the payments with an unconventional plan that would direct the Treasury Department to use its legal authority to mint as many as 1 trillion platinum coins as necessary to fund the legislation. Pramila Jayapal said people don't only need relief, they need stability, certainty, and predictability. And the ABC Act delivers them just that.
Has high inflation. Now, ours is a little higher. Our economy is now well above the level of output that we were at before the pandemic. If you just look at the output an economy had before the pandemic to where it is now, we're way above that, and other countries are kind of just getting back to that level. So we've just had a stronger recovery, and that is because of monetary policy and fiscal policy and also just vaccines and a whole range of factors. So our inflation is definitely, of the advanced economies, ours is higher generally. We're going through the same process that the Bank of England and other central banks are going through, which is raising rates and trying to get inflation back under control. Very committed to doing that. It's a common problem. Again, ours is worse because our inflation is higher, I think largely because our economy is that much stronger.
And I know you have a series of meetings and possible rate hikes. You talked about in 2 weeks, likely the 25 basis points increase. For my constituents, my consumers, what impact will they begin to see with the small incremental rate hikes?
So it's a little bit like the rate hikes that took place in the first part of this century. Not the rate hikes that took place after the global financial crisis were much slower. They were every other meeting. But the cycle before that, the rate hikes at consecutive meetings. So what you feel is these are fairly small rate increases, 1/4 of a percentage point every 7 weeks.